Are you ready?
Let's go!
Don't you sometimes just want to talk about everything? You know, there's days when you can just talk about anything. Need to sit back and chat about nothing at all? Nothing But Julie, coming at you with fun and creative topics and interviews.
Did you hear Julie's podcast? She's got the greatest topics.
Come join the chat about everything, anything, and nothing. So unwind and tune in to Nothing But Julie. Great topics and cool interviews with some pretty awesome people. And now, without further delay, here's Nothing But Julie.
Hello, everybody. It is your podcast host, Julie Schrager from the Nothing But Julie podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. You just wanted to do a quick podcast where normally it would be a little bit longer. I wanted to share with you grief and how does grief affect you and affect others. I have learned as I've gotten older, yes, here we go, that everybody has an opinion and everybody has the right to their opinion. But what people don't have the right to do is to express their opinion as fact. And that's it. You know, putting your foot down, that's it. Now, there are some people that just cannot be swayed from their opinions. And you know what? They shouldn't have to. It's okay to perhaps enlighten someone of why you have a particular opinion or see things differently. It could actually open up more knowledge. But when you meet somebody that almost demands that their opinion is fact, there's really nothing to work around. Those are the people I actually try to avoid, those that do not have an open mind or willing to maybe stretch out their opinion and adding in a little bit of somebody else's. My father recently passed away, and by recent I mean a month ago. It has been an extremely difficult journey for me. I act like I'm okay when I am around people, when I am at work, because nobody wants to be around a sad person or it's a very difficult way to deal with people when they're sick, when they're sad. People don't want to deal with that. But the thing of it is that I don't care to share how I feel with other people. A, they're not interested, and this is in no particular order. And B, I don't think it's necessary to discuss, my personal issues with people at work, even those that I am close to. When I'm not at work and I'm at home or in the shower or talking with my husband or out with good friends, that's when I will fall apart. That's when I will be able to invest in their time to listen to me because it's reciprocated in some way. But being at work in other areas, it's work is not conducive to personal emotions, personal feelings. And even though people might ask, which is extremely generous of them, they're just being kind and they're just being nice. Now, you might have somebody that genuinely cares about you, and that's wonderful. And I know who those people are at work. However, I will have a very short and quick answer. And the other reason for that is I do not want to be in that element. I do not want to be in my sad bubble for the rest of the day. So my dad had Lewy body dementia. I've spoken about it a few times. And Lewy body dementia is the crap of the crap, basically. You get Lewy body dementia, you get all of the dementia, all of the Alzheimer's, everything that is under that umbrella of of memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's. It encompasses all of them, where someone might just have one form of dementia. My dad had the whole kit and caboodle, and it was extraordinarily difficult watching the change. It was very, very slow at first, and then it would accelerate, and then it would slow down and stay in that particular stage. And then it would continue progressing. And I saw how the last 4, maybe 5 months at the most prior to him passing away, I saw how it accelerated and got much worse. And so my dad went into the hospital for a UTI, and he was there for 2 weeks. It was a very horrible experience. Imagine not knowing who you are, where you are, and the only person that you know is your wife. And people are poking and prodding at you, and you just want to be left alone because you don't know what's going on. And so he then did not eat much at all in the hospital, and he was slowly losing his appetite prior to that. And then he came home, and we had hospice for 2 days, and then he wound up going to hospice in the hospital because he needed to move up on the morphine. And when you do hospice at home, they don't do it as quickly as they would if you're in the hospital. And he was very uncomfortable and distraught pretty much the first day because the doctor was slowly increasing the medication. And when they finally increased it to the point of him being comfortable, he was out, as all patients of hospice are at one point in time. And I remember him waking up from the morphine, and that was the last time I actually saw him while he was alive. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. It was the last time he saw me while he was alive, and I spoke with him, and I knew he recognized me. My dad never forgot me, and he never forgot my name. And he woke up, and I walked over to him in his bed, and I held his hand, and I said, "Oh, Dad, you just had a bad dream. You were taking a nap. Go back to sleep." And he didn't say a word, and he just looked at me. He looked at me like, "I know who you are." And I felt that. I felt it in my bones. And I knew he also felt comfortable because he then closed his eyes to go right to sleep, as though he knew who I was and knew it was okay. That was the last time I spoke to my dad. He then passed away the next morning, and it was quick. He hadn't eaten in quite a few days, and his body, every organ started to give out. It was my first experience of a very dear loved one in my family passing away in a long, 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 long time, aside from, my babies, my dogs. And I always wondered how I would handle it. And there have been many cumulative events that occurred since January of 2024 in my life that continuously had a domino effect up until the death of my father. I'm not going to go into it. Some are small, some are big, some are just annoying. And I thought I was doing fine handling whatever stresses came my way. I didn't look at it as stress. I just continued on. After my dad passed away, we convinced my mom, we being my sister and I, convinced my mom to come to New York with us. I already had the tickets. My niece just had a baby, so this was my mother's great-grandbaby. And we decided that my dad was going to, be cremated. Which is not like the best thing in Jewish rule or law, but that's what my mom wanted to do. And since his ashes were not going to be back for a week, and I was coming back in a week, we thought, maybe she should spend some time with family. And we had the memorial of my father in New York. And I got very, very sick with some stomach bug. And I promise this is leading somewhere. I got very sick with a stomach bug and felt better for like a day. The following day, I was really, really sick again. And all of a sudden, I got what I guess you would consider a panic attack or severe anxiety attack, to where I was hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. I was uncomfortable. If any of you have ever had an anxiety attack or a panic attack, you know what I mean? But this was like extreme. It was bad, and to the point where I actually got very, very scared about what was happening to me. So I was at my sister's home and my mom was there, and they both started to tell me about everything that I have had happen in my life since January of 2024. And they remembered it all. And oddly enough, it wasn't something that I really had thought of being a part of my anxiety. I thought I was doing great. And, I have no issues, no problem. This is great. Wrong. Very, very, very wrong. I think that there is only so much humans can handle in their lives. And without notice, your body says, I'm done. Enough. The thing of it is, I don't understand why there's no warning. Because if there was a warning that I'm taking on too much, and maybe I need to, I don't know, cry or yell or scream into a pillow, punching it, there's nothing until there's something. And my something happened while I was in New York. And luckily, I was surrounded by family. That was a definite plus for me. But I have to tell you, it was an unbelievable experience. And the only way for me to have dealt with it was in my own way. Normally, I'm very analytical, and I really, really try to, dissect why I'm feeling a specific way. And that actually made it worse. Delving into why I was feeling the way I was just making the anxiety worse. So I had anxiety over my anxiety because I was thinking about it too much. And I mean, I don't even know what else to say. It was the most bizarre, ridiculous, profound, and probably poetic thing that happened to me. I'm really happy that it did, because it made me realize the best way to handle it and life. So I just came to the conclusion that I am going to go with it. I am not going to make myself crazy and try and figure out why. I'm not going to try and figure out how, because all that did was make it worse. I allowed myself to just live through it and just keep telling myself it's going to get better. It's going to get better. You are not going to stay like this. Imagine having to get on a plane, sick to your stomach from some bug, and anxiety, which seems to twist your stomach into just a big ball of wires tangled together. Man, and I'm just trying to think of the best scenario. And having to then get on a plane and have to yell at the people that are supposed to be wheeling your mother to, the terminal. I mean, imagine having all this anxiety and having to deal with, people. I really want to say what I want to say, but I'm not going to. I got home and I literally just fell into my husband's arms He embraced me. He laid with me that night. He cuddled with me. He held me really tight. I was so sad to be in New York without him because he's my person. He's the one that is always there and helps me and vice versa. So it was a bit of a difficulty for me. And then I slowly got better. I'm going to say it took like 7 to 10 days for me to fully recover. And then I was able to kind of look into everything. For me, the grief of losing my father came down to a horrible experience of anxiety. That was the last straw for my brain. That was it. It was done. It was done. So I just guess that part of me doesn't understand on a psychological standpoint, how can someone be totally fine? You know, a little bit of stress, of course, like we all have. But how can someone be totally fine one day and then the next day, no, I'm going to give you a shot of anxiety that is going to take you 7 to 10 days to get rid of? I don't understand it. I don't understand the lack of warning. If my brain is feeling overloaded, why isn't it letting me know, hey, guess what? I'm going to overload you right now with one thing that's it for you. That's it. Nope. So basically, I handled grief, I guess not so well. I forgot to mention, my sister had said to me, you need a good cry. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I cried with my family as a group in a group hug when my dad passed away. And that was it. I was very upset. I was very sad. And the thing I forgot to mention was when my mother and I got back to my house after flying back, I really needed just like a little alone time. So I went to take a shower and I looked at myself in the mirror and that was it. I cried like, I don't know. I would like to say like a baby, but it was filled with tons and tons of emotion. And it went, it went on. I'm going to say close to 15 minutes. Every single time I thought I was done, okay, I'm okay. It came back just as fiercely, with that much fury. So I gave into it. I didn't allow myself to stop it. I said to myself, you need this. This is what your body needs right now. So give it up. Then I got out of the shower and felt better. Felt a lot better. I still did get the anxiety for a few more days. I still did miss work, but not because of the anxiety, because I still had a stomach bug and was still, vomiting, and I wound up getting a fever. But I allowed myself to feel. I am a person who feels. I am a person who talks about feeling all the time, and I'm not the kind of person that ever blocks myself from feeling anything. Angry, sadness, fear. And I'm very good at vocalizing it and not allowing it to just override who I am or what I am or how I am. So I allowed it. I allowed it in, and I realized I took on too much. And And I've been taking on too much since January. And it just happened to fall into my life, all of these things. They were, some of them, or most of them, were things that did have to happen, and a couple might have been unavoidable. When it comes to grief, don't listen to anyone's opinion. Don't listen to their stories. I mean, if you're stuck having to listen to somebody, just listen with one ear. They all mean well, but they also like to talk and hear themselves talk. Oh, well, when this person passed away, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Lots of pacifying, lots of, oh, wow, look at that. Look at the time. I got to go. Do what you need to do. Don't follow the stages of grief, a graph, looking things up online. You just do you. If you feel like you need some time alone, then you spend time alone. If you feel that you need to be around people, then be around people. If you feel that you need to cry, then cry. If you need to yell, then yell. But if you're somewhere where you can't really yell, do it in a pillow or something. I just want you to remember, you are a unique person, an individual. You have a different life and a different set of rules, and you have different opinions. So don't let other people sway you into their beliefs, into what they think is best for you, because only you know what's best for you. And when you don't know what's best for you, leave it. Just leave it alone and let your brain, let your body do the work. Just leave it alone. Don't stop yourself from feeling. Your body is going to take over, and it's going to feel for you. And don't feel afraid, and don't feel sad that you are crying. Don't feel angry that you're angry. You need to just go with it. So, that is basically, thus far, how I have handled grief. I can't believe that my dad is gone. I can't believe it. The other day, my mom was FaceTiming me photos of my dad that she put near his urn. And I just started bawling. And as usual, because I'm analytical, I'm like, why are you crying? Why all of a sudden? Because I always need an explanation for everything, even with my emotions. It's so annoying. And I said, nope, Julie, remember a couple of weeks ago when you weren't feeling well, you said, go with it. I came to the realization when I started to not be so hard on myself that when I saw those pictures of my dad, I realized he's not here anymore. And the pictures were silly. He was always a silly person, funny. He was his best audience. And so I will forever miss him. And Dad, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a sign, but I know it takes time for you to acclimate to your new life. So I'll be here waiting.